Jai Hind. So myself Dr. Santosh Kumar Upadhyay here to discuss very important and crucial topic of the cloud computing, that is the security, Saas security basically. Because every time when we use the cloud, so we have always a concern about the security. Okay, what about the security, and what about the security standard that is adopted by that particular cloud vendor or cloud provider? What are their security standards, security protocols, security measures, security technologies they are adopting? Always there is a big question on that. So this security can be concerned about different kind of these services like SaaS security, PaaS security, and infrastructure as a service securities. Okay, so here in this class we will focus on the SaaS security. Okay, SaaS security. So as we know that when we talk about the security, okay, so what is the security? First thing, this should be very clear. We know the SaaS. SaaS means software as a service. That means all the different kind of applications like ERP, CRM, emailing service, billing. Okay, all these are the kind of SaaS, software as a service. Then what are the security? What is the meaning of security? So security is the umbrella term. Okay, when we talk about the security, then there is a three main concern about the security. First one is the confidentiality. First one, confidentiality. Second one, integrity. And the third one is the availability. 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 So when we talk about the security in computing, then immediately these three terms come in our mind. Means all the data, applications, identity should be confidential. That should not be leaked out. There should not be any misuse of data, application, or the identity of the consumer. If you are ensuring all these, that means you are ensuring the confidentiality. Okay. And second one is the integrity. Integrity means originality of data, application. That means whatever you are using from the cloud, that are genuine computing resources. There is no modification meanwhile during the transfer from the provider to the consumer. So in brief, you can say that ensuring the integrity means ensuring the genuinity of the originality of the data and applications. Okay. Third one, availability. Availability means all the computing resources should be readily available whenever you require. Okay. So this is also a very prime factor regarding to the security. So these three parameters should be ensured properly: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And in fact, different kind of attack and malicious activity target anyone, either confidentiality, integrity, or availability, or maybe any two, or maybe all three. Okay, like if you talk about the DOS attack, you have heard very common name is there, DOS attack, or the variation is DDoS attack. DDoS attack, distributed DOS. DOS means denial of service attack. So this is the attack who target which security parameter? Availability. That target the availability, that hamper the availability. Okay, denial of service attack, in which there is the there is the flood of some kind of special message like request to connect to a particular server. Okay, there the flood of the message and the attacker tried to busy that particular server, so that that cannot respond to the legitimate request. Okay, that come in the mode of denial. Whenever the genuine request is coming, that is not in position to respond that. That is known as the denial of service attack. Denial of service attack. And if this is in the distributed form, known as distributed DOS. So there is a number of attack like man in middle attack. If we talk about the man in middle attack, that means if there is some transfer of the message from source A to destination B, and meanwhile during the transmission there is somebody who are listening or who are taking that particular message or all the transmission without any legitimate permission, illegally that want to access the data. That is the man in middle attack. So what is the purpose to access the data? To misuse that data, it may be possible if not properly encrypted, or that is there the safeguard of the transmission, then that can be used and that can be misused. Or sometimes there is the alteration or modification of the message. So if that man in middle just listen what is going on, and that information is misused somewhere, so that is the attack on confidentiality. And if the man who are in the middle of transmission from source to destination try to get access to that particular data, file or application, and input their own some content in that particular, like SQL injection attack. That is the attack who that target the integrity, that destroy the originality of data. That means I'm accessing some file, some website, but really that is not the original website, that is a fake website. Okay, so that kind of attack come that hamper integrity. Okay, so there the purpose is there is a different kind of attack who target these three parameters. Okay, now we talk about the Saas security. Saas means software as a service. Okay, so in software as a service model, the client has to depend on the service provider for proper security measure. We know that we have no control on the security. If we are using the cloud computing environment, that means our data is stored in the data center. What is the security of that data center? We have no idea about that. Okay, so the provider must ensure, in that case, this is the greater responsibility of the provider to ensure that all the security measures are very proper and strong enough. So the provider must ensure that the multiple users don't get to see each other data. Okay, so it become important to the user to ensure that right security measures are in the place, and also difficult to get assurance that application will be available when needed. That means availability issues, because that is in the control of some other, that is control of provider. If there is a server down issue, you cannot get your own data. So this is the need of this cloud security. Cloud computing need to provide some solution to solve the common security challenges. Let us see what are the Saas security challenges. So this is not, I think, so visible, but don't worry, I will discuss each and every one. There are the different kind of security issues in the Saas. If we talk about the Saas security, so there are the two different kind of issues. We can categorize in two parts. First one, traditional security issue, and other one is the cloud specific security issue. Traditional means some general issues, okay, that may arise, and specific means cloud specific issues. So when we talk about the traditional or common or general security issues, so then that means authentication, authorization. One is the authentication and authorization. Authentication and authorization. Okay, authentication and authorization. This is the general issue, and other one is the availability issue. Okay. Third one is the data confidentiality issue. Virtual machine security issues. They are the four that come in the traditional security issues. Let us see authentication and authorization. Authentication means this is the process of ensuring the claimed identity, to verify the claimed identity. If I am saying that I am person X, then you have the process to verify that yes, this is the person X or not. Okay. So this process is known as the authentication. To authenticate some identity. What about the authorization? Authorization is one step further from the authentication. If somebody have ensured that yes, this is the right person that can enter the system into the system, the next step is okay, that person enter into the system, but what kind of access is there for that particular person? Because every person who have the system entrance means ability cannot access every kind of data or application or the computing resources. Okay. So what type of right access right are there, that is defined by this authorization. Okay. Then what is the availability? Availability means everything or the computing resources, your own data, your own file, program should be readily available whenever you require. If this is ensured, you can say yes, that is available. But sometimes that is not ensured. If there is not proper security measure, then some DOS attack may be there. And if there is DOS attack, then your virtual machine cannot reply within time. That may deny. Okay. Data confidentiality. That means there should not be illegal access to the data. Okay. Because in the case of cloud computing, all data that come from the different, you can say, thousands of users that are stored nearby in the host machine. So there should be proper segregation, proper separation, proper security measure, so that person X cannot read, cannot listen, cannot read person Y data. Okay. So virtual machine security, as we know that here in the computing, cloud computing, when we are accessing any service, certainly that is associated to a particular virtual machine running on the host or data center. Okay. So there the virtual machine security issues are there, and this is in itself there is a big topic, virtual machine security. But here you can see that there is the hypervisor, virtual machine monitor, VMM. So there are the number of concerns, number of issues that may arise when you are using the hypervisor or that particular virtualization layer. Okay. So that how that are, addressed, that are fixed, that are resolved. So virtual machine monitor should be root secure. Okay. Meaning that no privilege within the virtualized guest environment permit interference with the host system. That means all the virtual machine monitors should be root secured. That means any user cannot get access to that root secure, that means to the hypervisor, because if any person succeed to enter into the hypervisor virtualization layer, that is the virtual machine monitor, then that can modify something, some content, and overall all the system or data center may be compromised. Okay. So up to this we discussed the general issues, security issues related to the Saas software when we are accessing the software from the cloud. So these are issues that generally come. So there should be proper mechanism in the cloud, like for the confidentiality there should be proper encryption methods. For the DOS there should be proper access control method. Okay. There should be proper gateways, firewall, all these. Cloud specific security. Now we will discuss the cloud specific security. So they are, let us see at a glance what are the cloud specific security. So that is the information security, first one. Second one, the network security. Third one is the resource locality. then cloud standard, data segregation, data access, web application security, okay, data breaches, backup, as well as identity management. So these are the 10 different issues or parameters that should be properly addressed in the SaaS security, that is the cloud specific security. Let us see one by one. Yes, information security. What is the information security? Information security, that means in the SaaS model, the enterprise data is stored outside the enterprise, okay, boundary at the SaaS vendor end. It is very clear. Consequently, the SaaS vendor must adopt additional security measurement, security strategy for what? To ensure the data security, okay, and prevent breaches due to the security vulnerability in the application or through the malicious employees. It may be some internal attack also. If at the cloud vendor side or cloud developer side there is some malicious employee, so that may get access to the particular machine and can inject some malicious code, okay, or the attacker from the outside can also access to the data illegally. Then network security. What is network security means? All the data flow over the network, you know that, okay. So if we talk about public cloud, then we know that in case of public cloud, all the computing resources are provided over the public network, that is the internet, and this is most vulnerable network, okay. So anybody can mail you, anybody can mail you some malicious code and ask you to open that by giving some attraction for money or anything, and when you are just opening that attachment, and you certainly at that time you are compromised, okay. That code or that attachment may be worm, that may be virus, and that can infect your machine. So this involves the use of strong network traffic encryption technique like SSL, secure socket, okay, layer, and transport layer security, TLS. So there should be proper SSL and proper TLS to ensure the network security, okay. There should be proper intrusion detection system. There should be some proper firewall management, like via SSL encrypted endpoint. The encrypted endpoint are accessible from both the internet and from within the Amazon EC2. So this is the case scenario. Resource locality. The recent Dropbox user have to agree to the terms of service which grant the provider to the right to disclose user information in the compliance with the laws and law enforcement request. So in this resource locality, you know that you have no idea about where your resources, your data are stored, your program are stored, and what about the security of that particular storage or location. Cloud standard. There should be proper cloud standard. All cloud vendors should have the proper standard, measurement and security guidelines, strategy. To achieve interoperability among the cloud and to increase their stability and security, cloud standards are needed across different standard developing organizations. For example, the current storage services by the cloud provider may be, incompatible with those with other provider, okay. So there should be proper standard so that different kind of provider have their interoperabilities, okay. That means the services from one provider can be taken by other provider, and that service by taking the services can be provided to the consumer or their client. Data segregation. Segregation means there is a proper segregation when you know that it's the multi-tenant model. That means each and every data are stored on same host nearby, So there should be proper segregation, so that one person cannot access, cannot see the data of other person. There should be proper, this segregation mechanism. So a SaaS model should therefore ensure a clear boundary for each user's data. The boundary must be ensured not only at the physical level, but also at the application level also. Data access. Data access issue is mainly related to the security policies provided to the user while accessing the data. So in typical scenario, a small business organization can use a cloud provided by some other provider for carrying out its business processes. So this organization will have its own security policies based on which each employee can access to the particular set of data. So the security policies may entitle some considerable where some of the employee are not given access to the certain amount of data. So there should be some data access, clear-cut data access policies. Okay, data access policy means the same thing. That means authorization basically. What kind of data is accessed by which person? What type of file can be accessed by which person? That may be role-based access control or maybe rule-based access control. Web application security. Because here everything or every software we are accessing through the web in the form of web service. So there should be proper protocol, proper technology, proper proof for the web applications. That is known as the web application security. So the software which is provided as a service reside in the cloud without tying up with the actual user. Okay. So this allow provisioning the software without inconveniencing the user. Security holes in the web application thus create a vulnerability to the SaaS applications. So in this scenario, the vulnerability means loophole, shortcoming, drawbacks from where the attacker can get access to the system, can enter into the system, or intruder can get access to the system. That is the vulnerabilities can potentially have detrimental impact on the customers using the cloud. The challenges with SaaS security is not any different than any other technology. That means in every computing resources, that may be any type of computing style, there should be proper web application security. Okay, that may be distributed system, that may be parallel system, that may be grid computing, that may be utility computing. When we are accessing anything through the website, through the web, there should be proper web security mechanism. Okay. So however, one of the problem is that traditional network security solution in such cases does not work. Okay. So there should be some special type of firewall, some special kind of IDS, intrusion detection system, special kind of intrusion prevention system should be there that can address, that can work in the distributed environment. Data breaches. Data breaches means when you know that your data are stored at the developer side in the data center, then any illegal or unauthorized access to the data is known as data breach. That means the security is breached out or data is breached. That means illegal access of the data, you can say, unauthorized access of the data. So since data from various user and business organizations lie together in the cloud environment, breaching into the cloud environment will potentially attack the data of all the users. Thus, cloud become a high value target, and these are the parameters that come under the category of these particular means common security issues. So okay, thank you. We'll meet in some other lecture. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you.